Hey everybody, welcome back to our neck of the woods. So this week's video, hopefully we're gonna finish out the back here. We still have the lift, so we just basically need to do 2 more sets of soffits here, install 2 lights, and then the other 2 will go into the porches. We'll probably go to the store and purchase the LVLs, and then it looks like we're gonna have to go purchase some ginormous 6x6s to hold up the porch as it comes out this way, just like we did on the front. But hang tight and we'll see how much that's gonna cost and what I can actually accomplish. Okay, so while lumber prices are still crazy high, I'm not gonna do the entire porch. I basically just wanna go get like a 10, 12 footer piece of treated, and we'll go ahead and we'll bolt that against the ICF house. Then we'll probably, it won't be the end, we'll probably just come on out here for a joist and probably come out here for a joist and then put up a front joist. So basically we're just gonna build a box. Once I have that box, I will then know where my corners are gonna be for the posts. And then those 6x6s can sit on a diamond pier there, a diamond pier over there, go all the way up to the LVLs, and then we can box that in too. So we'll really only need to purchase a few things of lumber and 2 diamond piers. And then once we get those LVLs set, I can figure out how much cutting back I need to do up on the roof. Kind of the same thing I did on the front, but since I can do this a little bit quicker and easier by myself, I may go ahead and cut that entire roof up there, flush with the ICF going all the way up, set a truss up in there, and then again, I just got to figure out all the calculations of how to do a strong back from the truss back to the roof line, and then again multiply that by 3. That's what the front of the house is going to look like. So today we're just going to purchase some material and we'll go from there. And then as for our timber beams, guys, I don't know how I'm going to cut these things. Rip cutting a beam down, I'm going to have to see if I need a special blade. I started to cut it from here to here, and the blade's starting to burn the wood on the inside. So that blade obviously doesn't like to rip cut, it likes to cross cut. But that blade is now coming up on probably almost a year old, or at least whenever I cut the stringers last. It's a Diablo finishing blade, so probably not good for this either. I probably need more of a hack up strong blade that again can rip cut with the grain. And then we can set basically a 3.5 inch 2x4 inside of there. And that way when we lift this thing up, we can kind of get it pre-hung with some bolts going through the side of the beam here into the 2x4 as the 2x4 is bolted up to the truss. And then once we put that scarf joint in there and get it set on the end post, that's really going to take the majority of the weight off, and the truss isn't going to be doing too much except for a temporary hold up. And then on a little positive note, since we got moved yesterday, one thing I don't think you guys saw in the video was we do have a washer and dryer. So we've got that in the house now. The dryer I obviously have hooked up already because I went ahead and ran the power a while ago. Although a minute ago I did have to flip it upside down. So the plug that came with the dryer, they go by what you probably should be doing, like all industrial type code and stuff. And that's actually putting the circle ground here on top. So the plug was upside down and didn't work, but that obviously looks a lot better. You're not gonna stress the cord out. But we do have a dryer now. Now, we can't wash clothes yet because we don't have a major water source, and I looked up and apparently washing machines have somewhere around like a 30 gallon or so, 25 to 30 gallons they use on a load of laundry. I had no idea it was that much. That's crazy. So I can't just hang 30 gallons from the ceiling and drop it down into the washer. And even though I could temporarily drill a hole in the floor and kind of run that through the basement, and I could just technically pipe it into the sump pump and let the sump pump kick some soapy water out into the yard, but that's not really going to be feasible to do. So We're gonna unfortunately need the septic. We need the plumbing, obviously. We need a well pump, the filters and everything, so we don't destroy a washing machine in like 30 days from how bad the hard water is and stuff. But at least, I guess technically if Erin wanted to save a little bit of money, she wouldn't save any on time. I've only done the laundry maybe about 4 or 5 times since we've lived here, and those coming up on 3 years now. But she could go to the laundromat and wash the clothes and bring them home dry or wet and throw them into the dryer, and we could do them out here technically. Even though we don't have a dryer vent, we'd have to catch all the lint somehow. But if you guys are noticing the washer and dryer, yes, we did do that on purpose. They are scarlet and gray. I think the dryers, electric dryer right here in the scarlet wasn't that expensive. But then the gray, I think, had a massive discount when we bought it because I think there was a scuff on it or something. I think this. It broke underneath of the little slide out tray here for the soap. But when you close it, you can't see that. And we bought those a long time ago. Just trying to remember how long it's been. And they're still kind of in pristine condition. Got to find the door trap on there. That's where I let the water out. But yeah, kind of cool. Yes, we are Ohio Nation over here. So that's just one little amenity, at least that is powered on and working. That kind of makes me happy. Again, don't know if Erin will actually use it, but we'll see. So I'm gonna get to measuring how big of a 6x6 I need for the porch. Maybe I don't actually even need a 6x6. I might be able to get away with a 4x4 since that porch again is so freaking small. It's only coming out 12 feet from the house, and it is gonna be kind of tall. But as for weight wise, I really don't need that much. I mean, it's only 12 foot from end to end, 16 with the overhangs and 12 feet out. Maybe I'll email my engineer and ask, hey, can a 4x4 be used there? Because again, that much snow load on such a small roof, I don't think it's going to be that heavy that a 4x4 couldn't kind of support that. And then of course that would easily save on money and me being able to put that up by myself, because those 6x6s are heavy. Even with the lift, I'd have to hold on to the beam as I pick it on up. But let's go to the store, call Alan, the engineer, real quick, and hopefully tomorrow on Monday we'll get started and we'll get you guys a final look-see to see what that thing's actually going to look like and how the house is actually going to come together. Well, I said I was going to stay away, but I just can't. I can't take a break and not do anything. I go crazy. Again, it's Sunday, trying to relax. Erin went to go ride her horse, so I finished out the trim outside fascia on this side, got the 3.5-inch under piece on each side, 2x4 over here, so I've got a soffit to nail on that end. I just need to get one more on that end, and then we can go ahead and put in the light fixture, run the wiring, connect it up, and then we should be good. And actually, once I connect the power wire that's hanging out here into the light fixture over here, or bring the wire over to here and tie them together. But what will actually happen is the wire from that light will come out to the soffit light, and the power wire will come out. So there'll be 3 wires going into this soffit light here, and that'll be the main source that then goes out to everybody else. But I'll get that in tonight, and then I'll start from tomorrow. Oh man, does that feel good. Finally, the soffits are almost done. I've got one more to do, and that's the gable end over here on the house to garage. I still have to do all the way up in there, but at least those can be the solid T11s. They're a little bit easier and faster to install than these guys because they're so long. You've got to cut the lights out. You've got to put the bug guards on the other side and glue everything down or caulk everything down. But at least the back of the house is pretty much done. We can start on the porch either tomorrow or maybe on Thursday. I've got to work on Wednesday, and I think it's Monday right now. So tomorrow I'll get the soffits over here knocked out, and then again we'll figure out how we're going to start on this porch here. And hopefully there's no bad weather in the forecast. So what I picked up today was probably another $1,000 worth of lumber. I know it's hard to believe because there's only like 6 or 7 pieces on my truck, but the 6x6s that I did decide to go with, not 4x4s, they literally doubled the price of a 6x6 by going from 16 foot to 18 foot. 2 feet doubled the price of these guys to almost over $140 a piece. And then we got our 4 LVLs. We got 2 16-footers, which one will go against the house and one will be the back one out against the house, so we can make the outside box. And then we've got 3 12-footers. The 12-footers are just to go on the outside of that box, and then one in the middle to kind of give it some stability for the time being until everything gets done. And then hopefully I've got a 2x4 or 2x6 laying around that I can do that like cross bracing out here in the front, so the porch doesn't want to rack and wobble side to side. So we'll put like a 6x6 from the upper part of the post here down to the bottom of the post over there, just to help with racking force until we get more of the porch done. And hopefully that's not a big span for those diamond piers. They are going to be about 12 foot or so outside, and I know on the front of the porch I didn't have a diamond pier or a 6x6 really extending more than I think like 9 or 10 feet. So to go to 12 feet, that may be a little bit of a stretch going that way. I'll have to again run that by the engineer and see what he thinks. But yeah, at least that part is done, and we'll figure out all that tomorrow. Hopefully I can get the soffit over here knocked out, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, another crazy $1,000 spent. And then I think I spent another $900 today by calling, or had to order at the lumber yard. I had to order this, finishing off this wall over here, and that $900 is going to consist of the 16 footers by 16 inch, so we can get these tall walls in here done. And then we've got the 4x8 sheets that will all go up in there, so you can see that there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, like 7 1/4 or so. So that will all go that way with the 4x8s that we already have on the ground. But I just had them order in the correct lap siding that again are 16 inch wide by 16 foot long, because I had ordered some other ones in, like these guys right here, but they sent soffit material instead of lap siding. And the difference, the only difference is the edges here of the soffits, they're not painted. So this I'm not that concerned about because this is going to be covered by trim, but I didn't, and they needed cut anyway. So any of the LP Smart Side that goes on here where a batten strip goes to split 2 boards, I didn't want to buy the wrong material, need a warranty one day, them rip that off and be like, hey, wait a second, this looks like soffit material, not the siding, because we paint all 4 edges of our siding. We don't paint all 4 edges of the soffit, even though it's the exact same thing. So I just ordered in a few pieces to make sure that we get the right stuff. And then again, we'll put those there, and then what I did decide to do is right where those tall 4x8 sheets end at that piece of zip tape that goes all the way across, we are going to change to a different material. And what I decided on there was LP Smart Siding again, and it is a cedar shake panel that looks like cedar. So on my garage, or my shed over here, I actually installed cedar over there. So that was all done one piece at a time, all by hand, etc., nailed in. Well, LP Smart Siding makes a 1 foot tall by 4 foot long piece that looks like cedar, and it's just going to be a heck of a lot easier to install with a tongue and groove. You're going 4 feet at a time and up 4 feet at or 1 foot at a time. And they make 2 different kinds, where the cedar shingles back there are all cut evenly, but the ones that I'm going to put up here, they're staggered. So there's about a 1/2 inch or so staggered as the cedar shingles go like this. So that'll look like the shed, so it kind of matches. But it won't be the flat, it'll be the staggered. So if I don't like it, maybe I'll return it. But again, at least the shed and the side of the garage here will match. So when you guys see that in, just know we're not doing board and batten all the way up. I did decide on each gable end that we're going to transition to the cedar, and I think that's just going to give a much better appearance than just doing 30 feet of board and batten. So I will try to get up even earlier this morning. I know today got cut in a lot by having to go all the way to a lumber yard that's nowhere close and pick out all the brackets and the hurricane straps. And we've got everything to basically do that over there now. So yeah, hopefully I'll wake up bright and early tomorrow morning, knock that out, and we'll just see what we can get done. So I will see you guys then. So hang tight.
Oh, yes. Why did I wait so long? Oh, there's nothing that's gonna beat this after a hard day of work. I ain't gonna lie though, somebody does love this more than me. When she hears this thing come out, she will put it on her skull. Her eyes will completely just go back and forth. And she will just kill herself with this thing. It's ridiculous. She loves it.
All right, way too hot up there. Not to mention, I know there's some hornets' nests that I've killed, or they think their home is still there. So a few hornets up there, but at least this side almost done. I just have to cut back a little bit of the fascia that ran down this way, and then we'll tie it in with some caulking so we can paint around that corner. And then we obviously have to start getting the drip edges on and everything. And I think I got to cut back a little bit of the plywood. There's some hanging off, which I wanted a little bit more flush, so the drip edge can go on properly. But we're gonna have to wait for the sun to get back over on these trees so I can go up on that roof and not roast to death. But for right now, let's go ahead and see if we can hang a 16-foot, 100-pound treated piece of lumber back here. And yes, I know people always mention this, but once again, even on the back porch, I am gonna make a step up into the house. And the reason why that is because we have snow here. That porch roof there is not going to be that big of an overhang. Yes, it's 12 feet out and it's 16 foot wide, but a strong enough wind blows snow up there. I don't want snow drifts up against the sliding glass door if we have to like go outside. So I want basically that 7.5 inches of step, so I can have 7.5 inches of snow go up before it starts clogging in the track and everything of the window. It still will, but at least I can open up the door and kick back a little bit of snow and get out and not have to worry about that. So, and again, every house that I've ever lived at, there's always been a step. So front porch, into the garage, and back here, we've got 7.5 inches on every single one of them. Come on, son, go away. Even that is a workout. If you guys remember from the front of the house, a drill with a hammer drill setting, not exactly a hammer drill. I hate to go buy a hammer drill when I only need to do, at least for today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes, and that doesn't take too long. But that bit, after drilling so many on the front of the house, that bit I think's a little tired. But yeah, it's not easy. That concrete's getting to be a little bit older, so it's hard. That bit again's a little worn, and even with the impact, which I probably just roasted half that battery drilling that hole, that impact struggles throwing that bolt in there. But that's how we're attaching this to the house, guys. If you guys missed previous videos, and if you guys are new subscribers, we did have the Simpson octagon plates here, and that was approved originally by my first engineer because he knew that the plates were going underneath of a porch overhang. Now, obviously, we're not going down through a porch overhang down here, which is why you see there are no plates. I only originally wanted to do the porch to right here, but we decided to go all the way just for more room, more real estate to have fun and parties and stuff. But originally I wanted the deck to stop right there so that like you couldn't sneak in on the back porch and like look into our bedroom or something. But now I just really don't care. So we're gonna have a porch going the entire length of the house back here to the corner. And so we need these anyway. We've got Titan HD bolts. So once we pre-drill the depth with that hammer drill and the concrete bit, taking up for the 1.5 inch of room for the lumber, we go ahead and sink a bunch of these bad boys, and they do make different ones here. These are a lot more expensive than the regular Titan HDs. These are heavy galvanized, so they're approved for outdoor and they're approved for treated lumber. But back to the Simpson octagon plates real quick, which the entire house is being held up with. Those galvanized plates there only have a minuscule amount of galvanization on them. So technically by Simpson, they are not approved for outdoor use. So that is why we've pretty much scrapped those, both on the back of the house and the front of the house. They're embedded in the concrete. They ain't never coming off. But I don't know. They still probably could have been used because we've got so much rubber wall sprayed on them. And I could have sprayed the bracket and the bolts on the outside of the plate, and that would have basically water sealed them and protected them, and they probably would have lasted as long as the deck before the deck starts to rot away. But new engineer, and the thought process and the game plan is just to step up to the heavy dipped Titan HD bolts, 2 foot on center, and just bolt the crap out of this thing to the house so that it can't go anywhere. And then again, I think on the front of the house and the back of the house, especially on the deck that is not covered, I think I will maybe put some mastic or caulking down for the lumber to the house, so any water that runs down can't get behind the board and rot the board from behind. But that's really not going to happen either, because the rubber wall is so thick. And if you saw me have trouble like kind of moving that board after I just put 1 screw in there, once something hits that rubber wall, it basically sticks like glue. And when you drive these bad boys in, you're also pushing into the foam, even more bonding the rubber wall to the wood. Even if you took every bolt out of here, you would literally have to grab a crowbar and pry that thing off the wall because it's basically glued on. So I'm not too worried about water getting behind there, but I may still protect the top of all the boards, both the joists and the rim joists, I guess if you want to call them, rim boards against the house. We may still protect everything just to make that deck last a hell of a lot longer. All right, no clue how I'm gonna do it yet, but you just saw what I did there. We got the beam kind of almost attached to the wall. Drill's getting a little bit hot. I've got 3 more holes to do. But we set these joists on their on center where they're supposed to go. And if you guys remember, the edge of this deck is gonna go right here. So the last joist will be flush with that. Then we're gonna have some stairs come off of this upper deck and go down to a lower deck. Not much, only like maybe 3 feet. And that's just to break up the deck, give it a little bit more cooler of a look. And then as you're standing here, you're not directly staring into the kitchen and stuff. So I don't know, it just separates people a little bit more. So like you got a party in there and a party down here. If you're on the lower deck, you're not looking in, you'll have to come upstairs and come in. And again, that's just to give it a little bit different of a look. But so anyway, these joists obviously aren't on the end. It was a little bit easier to set the joists basically in line with where they are on the brackets up there and up there. So we mounted them on their on centers up here, got the joists hung, we got the outer bracket hung, made sure everything was level. And when we attached these 2 ends over here, we made sure that the distance apart was identical. So that joist is the same distance from that joist at the house where it can't move, but it could move out here. So once we got that, I just squared the box up because we were too far that way. We were like 192 on this cross and like 195 on this cross. So now we're all 100% squared up. So technically speaking, I can find out where the 6x6s are gonna go, plumb bob down. We can go ahead and set a diamond pier over here and a diamond pier over here. And the only thing that's gonna suck about this is I would like to bring a little bit more grading in here. So I'm gonna have to be real cautious. And I spent a little bit of time while the sun was going down to get this dirt pile way back here so I can bring a tractor in from kind of either side. But we still got a lot more to do, and eventually I'm gonna need a skid steer, something that's just super heavy duty, way bigger of a bucket, and can really tear through that soil. And I was just putting it back there on the shooting stop. So yeah, I'm gonna get my tractor out of here, brainstorm a little bit. I'm gonna get a 6x6 now up and over or come up and under and then stand this guy up. Obviously gonna have to use the lift to stand that up. But again, that'll give me a marker down on the ground, and hopefully in the next couple minutes, we'll set a diamond pier. Another reason why I love ICF, there's so many freaking lines on it that you can just follow things all the way up. And then if you follow the line all the way down, it gives you perfect markers. So on that bracket on this side, for example, the bracket going that way, it's sitting right on the line. So if we bring that line all the way down to the board against the house or the joist coming out here, we get a marker. Then if we subtract the thickness of the bracket and then come over, that's gonna be that side face of the LVL up there, which basically tells you where the this side of the 6x6 needs to be. And it actually turns out couldn't be any closer. It is literally in the corner right here. So just to make things a little bit easier, I got a 4x4 that I'm gonna set up in this corner, and that's gonna get my plumb both this way and that way. That will give me my marker in the dirt. And then hopefully it's just as easy over here as the inside of this bracket going this way. That's also a little bit over on a line, but that may be right where this joist is also. So this one may be a little bit trickier where it is. Hopefully it looks like it might go on this side, but hold on. Let's at least get this one done, and then we'll transition over and we'll figure this one out. Not as easy as the front yard. This stuff is concrete. That is rough. Yes, a jackhammer would be easier for like $40 or $80 for an entire day, maybe $40 for a half hour. It's rewarding work, but that sucks. So the last thing to do, because you are using a jackhammer on these little ones, you do mushroom the top out a little bit. So it's kind of impossible to get the cap on. So I'm actually going to do my first one here. I still haven't done any of the front, but I'm going to get my hand grinder, grind off the mushroom a little bit. We'll silicone those things down, and they'll be locked in place for here on out. Well guys, I'm whooped. At least that is 100% finally done. Yeah, a little too much silicone there. A little dab will do you, but that seals any water from getting down in between the concrete and the pole. And then I put a bead on top of the pole where I got all the galvanization off there, and then hammered those pads down on there. They're a real thick, heavy duty rubber, almost plastic. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than that actually, because I was trying to mess with these in the middle of winter and those things were like hockey pucks, but those are actually a lot more flexible now that it's 90 degrees outside in the summertime. So just hammering them on. The silicone will harden, kind of glue them down on there. And again, we're keeping any water out from getting down inside of the poles, and we're keeping any water getting in between the concrete and the pole. So if there's expanding and contracting, we don't crack and break the diamond pier. So that is your first time seeing me 100% finish one out. So that's what one looks like. Now we just need to wait for some good rain, because that diamond pier along that undercut going down in there, there's probably some loose soil in there. But once it rains 2 or 3 times and that brings all that silt in and stuff, it'll lock that thing down in like no tomorrow, and that thing ain't going anywhere. But I don't think I have the strength or the energy right now to lift a like 200-pound plus beam. Luckily, it's on the inside here, so I don't have to lift it up and over like I did on the front porch. We just have to get it up on there, get it in there, and get it plumb and everything. And I just don't have the strength for it. And since I got to work tomorrow, I got to go get a pair of new shoes because these guys finally had it. So I will see you guys back here probably on Thursday morning when we go ahead and maybe set that first one. We'll then set the other diamond pier. And then again, we'll just do what we did the other day. And that's cut back the roof, pop up the LVLs, and then hopefully on Thursday, we'll set our first truss. Well, I lost a GoPro. So we're on the backup now that doesn't seem to work all that well. So hopefully this will. I already had today's footage on it, and until I find it, it's gone. So just to recap, went ahead and picked up the siding that we're going to be using. So that is the 16-inch panels, 16 foot long, and they are treated on all 4 sides. And then we went ahead and picked up the actual gable end siding that I'll show you back here in a second. Now, like I said before, those panels right there, they're just to make sure that they were the right kind. I'm surprised there's no tongue and groove. And I don't know, it's weird. It's weird that you can use the 4x8 sheets that are tongue and groove, but the lap siding is not tongue and groove, but these cedar shake panels here, they are tongue and groove. And they're actually reversible. So it doesn't matter if you install them this way, you'll get it flat, or if you install it this way, you'll get it staggered. So no reason to return those because they go either way. But what I'm finding surprising is the trim board has like a V shape on the bottom. So water hits the fascia anywhere on the house, it hits that V and drops on down. Yet all of this stuff here is completely flat, and the lap siding is completely flat. Now, the lap siding we're obviously using as board and batten, but I'm surprised they don't have another product where you can have the 16-inch wide panels, or 12, whatever you're gonna use in your batten strips, and cut those down to where they're the length that you need, but then also they have a tongue and groove setup, but they just don't. You have to just leave your gap in there and either caulk it before, or put your batten strip up, and then you can caulk the batten on top of the piece of paneling that's running up. So again, not sure why they don't make a tongue and groove, but that's what we're dealing with. We went ahead and we got the first one already set here. So as long as you're straight and even, I think it should go pretty easy. Like I said, we only need the 16 inchers on these tall spots right here. So that first guy right there at its longest peak was 12'4". So yeah, there's probably maybe 2.5, 2 3/4 more pieces left that will go right there. And then we can run our 8-footers all the way across. And yeah, hopefully it just goes easily and goes together well. And then like someone mentioned before, the lights like aren't 100%. And again, those were just kind of temporary to get a look, but these are the plates that come with the lights, so it doesn't get screwed on by putting a screw through the light fixture. It holds on by these nuts and these screws. So we'll level this out, get that screwed in, get the wires through, and then we'll pop that light back on, and then that will be 100%. So not only is it now grounded, but a lot more secure of a base than putting a screw through like a plastic face plate. It'll actually be attached to metal now. So let's get the light on. Let's get 3 more over here. And as you can see, I did put some trim over in here, put a piece of trim going that way, drop that down a little bit so that it has a drip edge. And then we just need to figure out how we're gonna cut this siding back and get it all up in here and all those pieces. But we'll just set it up and get started. All right, so I'm gonna try and recap real quick what I already had on video. Again, lost the GoPro. I think it was sitting on the back of my truck and it must have fell off and bounced down the road somewhere. So there was maybe only a couple minutes on there, but number one, I hate finishing work. God, I hate finishing work. This wall, just in this corner alone with all of those cuts and stuff and getting the angles right has taken me forever. Installing the light obviously takes some time too, but first recap, why do I have this lift? Today's Friday. I said I was going to start doing the back porch yesterday on Thursday, but it was lightning and thunderstorms and I wasn't going up on no lift during all that lightning. And we get bad lightning around here. I think these trees actually take some hits. I've never seen one catch on fire or anything, but they hit so hard the camper shakes. So I never have seen one directly, but close enough that it'll make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and they must be real close. So anyway, they came over yesterday and they were like, we need the lift for somebody else, which makes no sense to me because I'm already paying you for it. That is cheaper, so it's a little bit littler, smaller of a lift, and it sucks. But well, I don't like the other one either, really. But now they're making money on 2 lifts instead of 1. So it is what it is. I gave it back to them just because I didn't officially assign like a month contract or anything. So I had it for 2 full weeks. I told them, give me 2 full weeks on this one. So that'll be a month. And we'll see what we can knock out and at least getting this wall up. But there's no way that thing's going to lift the front trusses. And it may struggle even with me and the back trusses on there. And then I think the only other thing I said was that's the first time I've actually used my truck. They let me borrow a trailer just because we're kind of close to each other. And it was like a 14,000 gross pound trailer. Mine's only a 7, so couldn't carry this thing because it's 8,000. And you do have to subtract your load, you do have to subtract your trailer weight from what your trailer can actually carry. So while that may be a 7,000 trailer, it actually can only tow about 5,000 because it weighs 2,000 itself. So anyway, first time I actually got to use my truck, and that's awesome that I don't have to pay, you know, another $50 for delivery. And they couldn't deliver today anyway, but I needed to get this done, so I just went ahead and got it. And they again gave me a trailer to borrow for free, so I was able to knock that out. And then I think the only other thing I had said in the video was trying to get the floor a little bit more solid. I've kind of looked at everybody's suggestions, but I don't think really you're gonna get away with the tried and true method of cross bracing. So we've got a whole bunch of those 1x3s over there. So last night, got my cuts right. Like this is 38 degrees, that's 45 degrees. And went ahead and just see how they would install. I did glue them and I did ring shank nail them, and I only did 1. But if you guys can see what's going on, we've got 1 cross braced in between these 2 joists here and down there. So what I'm doing is basically halfway down these trusses. So from the main beam over to the house, and where I've got those center blocking so that these trusses don't like bow or go like this. When I was installing the subfloor, I basically just put the cross bracing halfway in between that attachment point where the mid bracing is, and then again, another cross bracing, and then to the wall. Will it help stiffen it up? I don't know, but last night I'm walking out here and you can hear the floor creaking and cracking, and like I even stood right here, took a step, and with these floor joists even going this way, the saw there like made a noise like it moved, like the metal was being messed with. So we've got to stiffen this floor up, and unfortunately I don't have time to wait for a 5/8 ceiling drywall to be hung up there. So spent a couple minutes or a day at least cutting all those X braces, putting in like 150 some pieces of it, glue it and nail it, and I think that'll really stiffen the floor up. And then this corner's almost done. Just got 2 more batten strips here. Unfortunately, the batten strip going that way against where the trim already is, I don't know. I didn't want to put the trim piece on this side on top of the 3/8 paneling, because then you would see the trim here, the 3/8 paneling, and then this trim over here. So this piece is actually sitting flush against the zip, while this one is sitting on top of the 3/8 on this side. So that first batten strip in there where we only have a little bit of a sliver, I may run that through the planer and get that down to the thickness of that piece of trim, so that way it transitions kind of smoothly. And then when you're 16 inches over on that middle piece that I have to do, you won't really be able to tell that it's recessed a little bit and not as thick. But yeah, like I said, there's just a lot of intricate details in there. I only got that up piece going up at that diagonal just so I could get my border, my batten strips on those 3 spots right there. And then maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, we'll just run out all those 4x8 sheets real quick, and then spending however many hours I spent on that corner, duplicating it on that side over there. So it sucks, but I can't, you just got to do it. I don't think there's really an easier way, and every time I measure those pieces up there, none of them seem to be off, and the pitch of the roof may go like this as those ladders, maybe not be that straight, but so the cuts aren't always 100%, but I don't know, just keep plugging away and keep at it. All right, that is where I'm calling it before I lose my mind. These freaking mosquitoes and sweat bees in this lift suck. But this side is at least getting finished, so tomorrow I'm just gonna restart, hang my first 4x8 sheet of panel. I'll probably brace something up under there that I already put up there and give it kind of a lip, like a 2x4, to kind of hold the weight up so I can like lift it up and just set it on there. And then I got a 1x7 piece of trim that will go all the way across the top of the garage door, but it has to sit on the panels first. And it'll come out and meet this little piece of trim right here on that garage door. So it'll go all the way across, meet there as a corner, and then all the batten strips will sit on top of that piece of 7-inch whatever trim, and then they'll just go up and transition and stop wherever we have the shingle, cedar shingle, I guess, starting. So I'm gonna burn off some steam real quick, and then we'll wrap it up and be back at it first thing in the morning, tomorrow morning. Well, that's always fun, but I don't know what I'm actually allowed to say and do. I don't know what actually gets you demonetized. All I can say is built this guy as my first head to toe, every single tiny washer piece I put on it, so that the goal was before the scope. This is actually under 5 pounds. And yeah, a little skinny pencil barrel, and it is only 14.5 inches, but the compensator is pin and welded. Therefore, it gives you a 16-inch overall. Other than that, I don't know what I'm allowed to say or do, but we'll see what happens within this video. Well, I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I know this video is running long, and it's Friday anyway, so the goal again this week was to try and get the back porch all done. And I always say it's gonna be simple and easy, but it never is, especially when you're working by yourself. But tomorrow, we're gonna wait for this ground to dry again. I'll start the video. We'll go ahead and hopefully Saturday, Sunday, we will finish this wall out, see how we do the siding, and then hopefully we'll be able to start painting sometime soon. But we do have to wait till probably I get over here, so that way I'm not wasting the paint sprayer. And yeah, if we can just get this corner or this side and this side done, call the garage done, call it painted, and the only thing that the garage will need is gutters, and then it's 100% done. Everything else, that'll just be how it is and how it's gonna look. And then again, next week, transition over back to the back porch here and get back up there, but we'll just go from there. So again, wrapping it up here. If you guys like the video, hit the thumbs up. If anyone knows in the comments what I am and aren't allowed to do, I know you're not allowed to say anything about manufacturing or putting together, but I don't see what the big deal is of just doing a demo or showing you this is what I have, this is what's on it. But you never know with the rules nowadays. It's so stupid. But again, if you guys enjoyed anything, learned anything, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you guys aren't already. Hit us up at NeckofTheWoods 2020 on Instagram if you want to see more photos from Aaron, and if you need to personal message us. And until then, we'll see you guys next time. So take care.